So we're going to go to classwork and go to Monday, November 9th assignments and Jamestown Lifescape parts of speech. You'll notice it's the same painting we've been doing. We have some different activities with it. So today, our student-friendly objective is I can create strong verbs, adjectives, and adverbs to describe a painting. So we're going to still keep kind of looking at this same painting when we do that. Okay, so if you'll go ahead and open with Cami, annotate with Cami. We can scroll down. So this is activity 2. So this is the last activity that we will do with this painting. Let me increase the size of my screen here. All right, so we're just first you're gonna need to use this for reference in case you forget. You probably know all these still from the past. But we're gonna go ahead and define each of these 4 parts of speech. These are probably the most popular ones. There are more, but we're gonna stick to these 4 for now. So a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. And sometimes the idea one is a little more tricky. All an idea is something you can't necessarily see. Kind of like a good example is freedom. Freedom is something that we can't really see. It's hard to explain exactly how it's a thing, but it is. It's something it's an idea that we understand to be a reality. But it's not a person, place, or a thing. So it's kind of a different category. It depends on how you use it, freedom is something that our country was founded upon. So in that case, you're using it like a noun. So a person, place, noun, person, place, thing, or idea. Okay, adjective is paired up with noun. An adjective is like the noun's best buddy because it helps the noun to be a little more precise. So adjective is, an adjective describes or modifies. And modifies just means it goes with it. A noun. I'm going to put it in capital letters for noun. I'm not putting periods into these because they're not really sentences, they're just kind of phrases. So maybe this has a period. I'm not trying to get rid of it. Okay. So adjective has one job in its whole life. The adjective's job is to describe or modify a noun. So if you take any noun that you could see around this room, Chromebook, an adjective would tell you more about that Chromebook. It could be size, shape, color, what kind, how many. Okay, so you could say the Dell Chromebook, the gray Dell Chromebook, the broken Chromebook. However you want to describe that Chromebook, that would be an adjective. What if you use a word like freedom? How could you describe freedom?
It's in my head, but like I can't.
How about or you say freedoms? Our country's many freedoms include something like that. So you say many freedoms. Okay, so basically what you're doing with an adjective, the only job it has is to describe a noun. That's the only thing it'll ever do. Okay, it just has one job. Okay, a verb is what, y'all? An action. So it's an action word or a state of being. And we'll talk about what the state of being is. An action word or a state of being. Okay, so state of being, what that means is some verbs are not actions. If you said Joe is smart, is your verb. It's more of it's not really an action. It's more of a state of being. It's telling you that is who he is. Um, a state of being. It's like is, are, was, all those linking verbs. Remember those? Those are all states of being. Like it's just there. If you're a state of being, just means basically you exist, right? You're in a state of being. So if you say, so and so is here, you're basically saying, and is just a state of being, like you are there. It's not really an action. Now an adverb, notice an adjective only describes a what? A noun. An adverb has a bigger job than the adjective. It can describe or modify 3 different parts of speech. So it describes or modifies. It can't do a noun, but it can do a verb. Of course, it's called adverb, right? But it's more than just a verb. It can describe or modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So it describes or modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So it really has 3 jobs, doesn't it? Possible jobs. It can do all 3 of those things. It can do lots of things. Adjective, on the other hand, it can only do what? Describe a noun. An adverb, on the other hand, can describe a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Now this is going to come in handy for our activity we're doing. So if you look at the instructions, using the painting, list the nouns you see and create strong adjectives to describe the nouns. Next, list the verbs that describe the action in the painting and create strong adverbs to describe the verbs or adjectives. Some of these may be located in the mood web. So, the mood web we did where you did all the sound, taste, touch, all that. If you really want to go back to that, you can put a tab open for that and give you some ideas. Okay, so let's go on down. So we got this chart. So what we're going to do is you're going to come up with some nouns from the picture. Okay, let's look at the example. So one thing, if we look, barrels, we'll look at the barrels right quick in the picture. Notice the barrels, they're being pushed. Anyone else pushing barrels? Is this guy trying to push or move it around? There's some more here. Y'all know the word maneuver?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Like move.
To move. And kind of to move in certain ways, like, it may not be the easiest.
Maneuver through an obstacle.
Yeah, maneuver through an obstacle. So we go back down. Their example is going to be they list a noun first, and they chose barrels, okay? And then their verb was maneuver. They could have just said move. Maneuver is a much more advanced vocabulary word, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So barrels, the verb is maneuver. What do we say an adjective can describe? Only one thing, which is what can an adjective describe? A noun, and that's the only thing, right? So what describes the barrels? Cumbersome. You know what cumbersome means? Somebody look it up. Someone go to another tab and look it up for me and see if it describes the barrels. And what I'm going to do, in case you need another little reminder, I'm going to put, you can do this if you want. If you already know, I'm going to put person, place.
Heavy.
Large or heavy.
And therefore difficult to carry or use.
And therefore difficult to carry or use. You can describe, is that a good description for the barrels? Yeah. So here, I'm going to do this. And you don't have to do this, but if you get them mixed up, you might want to. We're going to mainly, I know I said action or state of being. In this photo, or for this painting, we're going to use action, okay? Adjective describes noun. And an adverb describes verb, adjective, or adverb. Okay? All right, so we said actions maneuver, and then this has got to describe the barrels or the noun, the cumbersome barrels, which means hard to, heavy, hard to carry. And then adverb can either, so this part can either describe your verb or your adjective, right? That's what adverbs do. They can't describe the noun though. They can only describe the verb or the adjective, okay? Or adjective or adverb. They can't really just. We're not gonna put adverb on this because there aren't any extra adverbs. Ah. We're gonna say describes. For this chart, it's gonna describe verb or adjective because we only have one adverb. Okay, so extremely is describing what? It can only be this or this. Would you say extremely maneuver or extremely cumbersome? You couldn't really extremely maneuver. Maneuver just means you're moving it, but extremely cumbersome means it's very heavy and hard to move. Okay, so that would be good with cumbersome. Okay, so let's do another one. What's another noun we can get from the
People.
painting? People. Okay. So people. Okay. What is a verb, an action they're doing?
Move. Wait, no. Talking.
Talking. Okay. What's the one to go? So talking. Okay. Adjective has to describe what?
The noun.
Which is? What's the noun that we put here? What will you just put for our noun? What did you just now put for your noun?
People.
People. So that means so it can only describe the people. What kind of people? How do we want to describe the people? Huh? You have to say something to go in front of people. The what? Hardworking? Yeah, that's a compound word. Hardworking. Hardworking people talking. Now, adverb can describe either hardworking. You can add more to hardworking, or you can add more to talking. You can tell more about how they're talking or how they're hardworking. Notice the top one did extremely cumbersome. So they did the adjective. We could describe more. The people are talking. You can either say that be before or after talking. How are they talking?
Oh, I was gonna say loudly.
Huh?
Loudly.
Loudly? That would work. So talking loudly.
At first I was gonna say energy for hard workers.
So what you're gonna do when you come down to the bottom is you're gonna make these into a sentence. You're gonna try to fill up all these spots. Then you pick. Well, we're gonna do one together. We're gonna do another one together, but you pick three of them and make sentences out of them. So notice the first one was maneuver, extremely cumbersome, and barrels. Remember, it was barrels, maneuver, cumbersome, extremely. So if you notice, they did. Early American settlers had to maneuver extremely cumbersome, wieldy barrels from storage to ships for transport, and they underline their ones they use. So let's try the one with this one. So. Okay, help us do it.
The hardworking people are talking loudly.
Good. Okay, so let's do the hardworking people, and we'll underline it later. Hardworking people are talking loudly, and can we add a little more to that? Talking loudly about what, maybe? Or trying to, or about, or what could they be talking loudly about? Why are they talking loudly, maybe? What?
Guidance. Probably just
Because the barrels are loud, is that what you're saying? Okay, good. Telling people where to move the barrels. Good. Move this down a little bit. Might have to make mine a little smaller. You don't have a picture of your face right there, so you should be able to go across. Very good. Now then so what do we underline? Hardworking people talking and loudly. I'm gonna go ahead and stretch mine out. No, everybody has it. All right, so maybe this up here. Let's decrease the size a little bit. Okay. So do y'all see how the sentences work? All right, so you can like do the sentences at the end if you want to, though. You just got to do 3 more. So do y'all want to do 1 more together, or you think you understand how to do it? 1 more together? Okay. Let's look. You want to do the dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the dogs. So noun is dogs. What are they doing?
Walking.
We want to think. Do you think we could do a better word than walking?
Yeah.
Or we could do walking, but what's a different word for walking that would be a little more of an advanced vocabulary word? The dogs skip then? Prancing? The dogs prance, sort of, sometimes?
Something like a horse would do.
Prancing, yeah. Strolling. I mean, they're kind of just taking their time.
Yeah.
Strolling, okay. Strolling. So the dogs are strolling. Adjective has to describe what?
Dog.
The dogs. What kind of dog? How are we going to describe the dogs? It can be their personality or how they look.
I was gonna say a baby dog.
The baby dogs.
Or a small.
The small dogs. Okay. The small dogs were strolling. Did they go the wrong path?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so, how are they strolling? Strolling slowly. Okay. Good. You'll notice adverbs a lot of times have they don't always, but a lot of times adverbs have ly. Have y'all noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them. You could say these slow dogs. That doesn't sound as good though. That would make it an adjective though, if you're describing the noun. But if you say how they're moving or strolling, strolling, it's describing the verb, how they're doing it, right? That's an adverb. So if you wanted to though, you could just, if you want, I like the way y'all did it, but if you wanted to have instead, you made the adverb describe the adjective, you could have said the very small. And that would have also been an adverb. Because it describes an adjective or an adverb or another verb. Okay, so then what could be your sentence for that one?
The dogs.
The small dog.
The small dogs were strolling slowly.
Slowly through
the town.
Through the town, yeah.
Yeah, the small dogs
Yeah.
were strolling slowly through the town.
So you could do that for your sentence if you want to, or you could pick one of the ones you do. What?
It's not letting you underline it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, don't forget to underline it. Okay, so what you said? Underline it?
No, I think you said it's not letting him.
Oh, it's not letting you underline it. I'll come help you. Okay, y'all think y'all got the rest of this? So remember noun, then your verb, then your adjective has to describe your noun, and adverb. You just look at your picture to try to find some more. It doesn't have to be a living thing like the barrels weren't. It can be. You can use also after a few. I don't mind if you use the same noun, just so you have a different verb. You know what I'm saying? You can use a different. If you want to say something else about the dogs, just so you do a different. All your other 3 are different. You can use the same one. If you get stuck, raise your hand. I'm gonna try to see if I can help Christopher with underlining.
Could I say the houses are smoking like from getting smart?
smoking, somebody, a bird, that's what they're doing. Did I do one? Where's that?
You get stuck, I will be glad to help.
Try filling out your chart first, and then go back. You can go back down to the census last. You can pick which one are your favorite. Would it help if I put the picture up here so you don't have to go back and forth and look at the picture? Okay. There we go. This needs to be turned in before we go to lunch. So let's make sure we're working. If you're not sure about your active or adverb, I'll help. Some people like to do all their nouns first, and then go back and do their verbs, and then go back and do the adjectives and adverbs. So that's however you want to do it.
So we need to do 2 more?
You have to do all of the chart,
Oh.
but I just want to do the sentences with you, so whenever you're ready to go, then you don't have to stop. You don't have to do a sentence with every one of them. You do need to fill up all the charts.
So we're gonna do all this.
You gotta do all that, and then, but you only have to choose a few of them, and then, you know, you only have to choose 5, or you've already done 3. You stuck? There you go. Horses. Oh. Yeah, I saw it earlier. Yeah. The horse is carrying a man, so you could put carrying. Carrying. Okay, then the noun, adjective describes the noun, which is horse, be a tired horse, it's kind of carry. Okay, the white horse, and then you want to describe like the
It's like gray hair.
gray white, or the gray haired white horse. So adverb would either describe, you could describe more of the white, or you could actually tell how he's carrying it. He's carrying the man, or however you want to say it. How is he carrying is, or you could say more about white, whichever one you want to choose. Well, that's not really an adverb. It's got to be how, it's either got to be, you can include that in your sentence, but here you got, the adverb's either got to describe more about the verb, like he's barely carrying, like he's having trouble carrying it, or it could be like the off-white, or the dirty white horse, or the big white horse. It's got to describe either white or carrying. Yeah, so the big, but you already got, you don't have to put white, it's already there. That's just, that word, I want, you can't even choose the adjective or the verb for that. Got it.
I'm stuck.
Okay, so here, the ox, you got very big, very, all you need is big, right here. Very is, you're describing big, so describing the, adjective is an adverb, because right here, so it says slave, you put very. You know what I'm saying? That's what you were basically doing, you just don't put it all in one thing. Use the very big, because remember the adverb describes the adjective. Take what it was. It's very. This is satisfying that, so that describes you could fit. You could have said was walking slowly right here if you wanted to, but you picked it, so you're fine. You picked very, very big. They describe that word, whichever one you choose. You pick that so that works. But hang on big. Because you already have big right there. See? Okay, what about the wheels? Wagon wheels. Or you could do people selling. You could do building. People building. The ships. Or sailing, or ships or stock.
I was thinking about like trying to do one either on the ships or the birds.
The birds we do them too. Birds flying, and how are they flying?
So I was like the bitter food, but I don't know what the adjective.
Okay, so that can either describe bitter or eating, how they're eating it. Are they wanting to eat it? Who's eating? So they're eating their. How would you describe if they're eating their food? How would they be eating it? Maybe reluctantly, or you could describe that, or you could describe the extremely bitter. So you can describe bitter, or you can describe eating, whichever one you want to. Now, when you do your actual sentence, you can do both of them, but because on this one, they're just, you know what I'm saying, they're just letting you do one, just to teach you.
Did I say what they're eating it with a funny face?
You can on your sentence, but that's a prepositional phrase. You can add that to your actual sentence, but to add it, and that's not an adverb. You say so for an adverb, you either got to describe an adjective or the verb. They were carefully eating, or no? How like if it feels bitter, they were not real happy about eating it, were they? They weren't eating it. Maybe they were eating it quickly, or you did. You know what I'm saying? How to be quickly eating. Or you could say extremely for bitter, whichever one you choose. But you can do both of those. I mean, you can do them both once you get down to your sentence. But for the chart, you gotta just make sure you're picking an adverb. Okay, the small pig is right. And describing the pig. Small pig is eating, and so you can either describe how he's eating it, hungrily eating or eagerly eating, or you say the very small pig. So you can either describe small or how he's eating. Because remember, adverb can do either. So it's your voice. Greedily eating. So you've done it very small. y'all finished your AEC paragraph, didn't you? Did we finish it in class?
Yep.
Yeah, they're migrating south. Perfect. You're describing the verb. And the small bird. Very good. Not the word migrating.
Could wind be a noun?
Hmm?
Could wind be a noun?
Yeah. It's the thing. You think it's, yeah, that's a good one. You could say, what's the wind doing? Okay. And then this just describe the noun or the wind, what kind of wind?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like anyone describe how would you describe wind when you feel wind sometimes? This wind is what?
Cold?
Is it a cold wind? Okay. Then so now you have a choice. You can either describe how it was blowing, or you can describe. You can say more about cold, like the bitter cold wind, or you could say that it was blowing. Yeah, so you're describing cold. Or you could say, if you wanted to have what you could have done on other, I want you to keep that. What I'm saying is, just so you understand that you could have said was blowing furiously. You can still do that on your sentence, but you could pick either one for this. One more. I'll put some phrase and then I'm now substituting. Okay, so if you are watching this and you're trying to do this from home, if you'll just finish that up, do your sentences, and if you'll submit that in Google Classroom. All right, bye.